Easy people. My name is Cass and welcome to my channel. Anyways,
our channel.
I'm just trying to copy Steve in it. Anyways, big up everyone in the building. Today we're going to be talking on a few little things like pre-season, whether it matters or not. Liverpool, Polina, if anyone's seen them links, that's absolutely crucifying to my eyes to see. And Michael Olise, the shout from Ty from the other day, Man City, Chelsea.
Well, and Chelsea, innit?
Yeah. Big up everyone. You might see that somebody's in this live that you never really see. You know, he shaved his head not too long ago. He's got a new beard as well. He's got, I think he's got a fresh pair of glasses on as well. It goes by the name of Don Husam. I don't know if
those glasses do look different, you know.
Yeah.
No, they're the same glasses. They're the same glasses.
Hey, bro, and as for a new beard, he has a new beard every day.
Yeah, basically. But then
he shaves it off, it comes back within an hour.
Yeah, that's the Arab dreams. Like
but big up, Husam. What are you saying, man?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah. Hope you guys are good as well. And yeah, this pre-season, finally, the Premier League is about to start soon. So I can't wait for some actual football. So we can actually, you know, talk about some things. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. Big up everyone in the chat as well. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you guys are subscribing. So,
do you know what, and Sam, what you just said there, yeah, where you said we're looking forward to something to actually talk about football, yeah? Earlier on, one of the comments on our video, I think either from this morning or last night, someone commented saying, you guys are really actually doing reviews of friendlies. And I go to Cass, you should just put as a reply, well, what do you want us to do? Talk about the same transfer news that actually hasn't happened yet every single day. Because we have to. This is football to us, isn't it? We've actually got football back. So we've got to talk on it. Especially
the losers always don't want to talk about football. The winners are okay with like reviewing games and stuff like this. The people that like Arsenal last year when they won 4-0 against Chelsea, they spoke about it for a week. But when they lost yesterday, it's only
I played one game and I've won it. How am I a loser, Mo? You want to start already?
I'm talking about Arsenal.
I'm born ready for this. You know me, Mo. You want to start from the first minute?
He wasn't. He was talking about Arsenal.
I was actually talking about Arsenal. We didn't even mention Liverpool yet.
No, but I said I don't want to talk about the friendlies like that, and then you responded in relation to that.
No,
is this how you want to start the video?
The comment. I was responding to the comment.
Do you know what?
Battle of the Middle East.
Hold on.
You know what's the funniest video I've seen my whole life? Let me tell you the funniest video I've seen my whole life. Is Mo pulling up to London in shorts and a short sleeve shirt and it's pissing rain all over. And this guy's out here like it's Bali on the beach. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
We were sat in the car and Cass is going, I go, is that Mo? And Cass is going, nah, that's not Mo. Look, the guy's got a pink t-shirt on and pink shorts. That's not Mo. I was like, that is Mo, you know. There's only one person I know that's like 5'2". So
is he actually 5'2"?
No, he's 5'6".
Something like that.
Fair.
Respect.
I am short.
Can I just say though? You know what? Salute to Mo. You know what Mo rocked up with though? Mo rocked up, yeah. I just got to show. Not with one pair, but he got me 2 pairs of Burberry sliders, just out of the kindness of his heart.
Oh, don't forget my ones.
And he got Casa pair as well.
They want to get me the cushion ones though, innit? But when to get Daps 2 pairs,
sick,
like
these ones are sick. Anyway,
Daps' his birthday.
What?
So I say Daps got 2, and Cass is like, why 2? I was like, it's 1 as a gift and 1 for his birthday. And Cass is like, but my birthday is in February. I'm like,
no, the best bit was what Cass said when you gave him them. Cass goes to me, how much are they worth? I could sell these and make some money. And I was like, bro, he just bought you a gift. Say thank you. Yeah, you say thank you. But right, I was going to say on this Arsenal thing, yeah, because
that's haram, by the way. Be careful. You can't sell
actually, yeah, it is. Real talk, it is haram, actually.
what is haram?
Be careful.
What's haram? You should know what haram is, bro.
What did you say?
No, you can't sell gifts. You can gift gifts to other people, but you can't sell them.
Who said that's haram? Are you inventing religion?
You can go check it right now. الهدية لا تهدى أخي.
This is not hadith. I know this is not a religious stream, but
check it right now. Check it.
What do you mean check it?
يا أخي Google it يا أخي.
Right, so the
I
other thing,
promise you, you can't. No, you can't give it. You can't give.
no,
You can give
that
gifts
does
away.
make sense, you know. Yeah, it's
You can
a
give
gift.
gifts
You
away,
can't
but
make
can't
money off
sell them.
something that you didn't spend money on yourself.
Yeah, because Mo got you a gift. Why would like you can't sell it? You can give it to someone, so you
Yeah.
could give it to Ty,
That
but you
makes
can't
sense,
sell
to
it
be
to
fair.
Ty.
Yeah, it does with everything else.
I-
But what? Sorry, where I was
Don't
going to go
believe
just
that.
quickly. Something I said earlier on, yeah, to Cass,
I told him then.
an idea for a show, because at the moment there's a fan base that thinks that we're, you know, so at the moment what we're doing is we're talking about subjects that are being brought up in the media. So we're talking about, yesterday it was Man United v Arsenal. It was the biggest game, of course. It's Man United Arsenal. We're going to talk on it. Media outlets and Arsenal fans are saying Ramsdale's amazing and Havertz is going to cook and all this and that. Then when we talk on Arsenal, it's like, oh, you've got an agenda against Arsenal. It's like, no, they're subjects we talk on. But I said, what would be good for one show, right, is that Mo's job is to try and get me and Cass to talk about Arsenal. And me and Cass's role is to try and do a whole show without talking about Arsenal once. Yeah. Because it will happen. And even this morning, I came on late and a gal was like to me, Daps, why are you talking about Arsenal? I was like, to be fair, because I missed a bit when you were talking about him. But then I was like, okay, let's move on from Arsenal. We moved on to Man United. Then instantly a gal moved straight back to Arsenal. And I was like, so this is what...
We try, bro.
That's-
We
that's
try.
typically
Two
Gal
back-
as well. That's
Two
typically Gal.
back-to-back streams. We're trying to move away from Arsenal talk, and it always goes back to Arsenal.
Massive club.
Igal can make a conversation about chocolate about Arsenal somehow. You just don't know how he manages to do it.
Ben White's got a chocolate factory? I didn't know that.
Do you know you can also get chocolate in white chocolate? We've got a player called Ben White.
I just don't understand, yeah. Like purposely tonight, we didn't want an Arsenal fan. We was going to, but we thought, you know what? Nah, I did it.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It don't matter. I don't know if you get this on your streams too, Sam, right? But there's always someone in the comments saying, oh, you're always talking bad on Arsenal, or you're always doing this. I'm like, bro, like, you just lost. You've held it, yeah, to one of your if not your big state rivals other than Tottenham and all this kind of stuff. And you can't take it. It's like every other stream you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, when we're not talking about Arsenal, you complain that we don't talk on Arsenal. When we do talk on Arsenal, it's all negative. But they always say, oh, but why are you bringing on Dawood, or why are you bringing on the gal? I'm like, bro, we've had about 7 or 8 different content creators in the space of 10 days. 10 days. And it says, why are you bringing poor represent? And then when we bring on someone like Lee Gunner or Northside, who's got a bit of a stronger opinion on a different side, they still complain. And it's like, what do you want us to do? Like,
That's football, though, isn't it? That's opinions. Not everyone can be happy, man. That's got to ride with it, isn't it?
Oh, I just
So
what
let's
we
say
talk-
it as Arsenal fans are sensitive. Let's just say it as it is. They're a sensitive bunch.
And
I'm
also,
like,
it's also because they know the pressure's on them to actually do something this year. So it's like,
quick one. I feel Schofield, like, you're a biased host. You need a lot to learn. You got worked up and angry. But that was fine until you say fix up. How about I'm gonna ban you out of this chat right now? You don't need to be here because
Yeah, real talk. Anyone that doesn't like this show, please feel free to go and watch something else.
in it.
And anyone that's here in States, thank you very much. We love everyone that watches the channel, but people that want to moan and say things and this, like even with telling us what panelists to bring on, respectfully, we've got where we are doing what we're doing. We like doing what we're doing, and we love everyone that supports us. But if you don't like us, no problem. Absolutely no problem.
Hallmark now you can watch Love Actually on it and you'll enjoy it probably. It's an amazing movie. You can just go and watch it.
Anyway,
Yeah,
what are we talking on then?
I don't know, man. I need to fix up apparently.
Isn't Schofield that
Since
Good
we have
Morning host?
Hussam,
Yeah, he is. He is.
let me
That's
just
a
start
bad
with
name to have,
Hussam
maybe.
question.
Awful name to have right now.
Honest opinion, Hussam. Do you think friendlies pre-season, especially the big games, are an indication of what happens in the season? Just straight.
Absolutely not. The season we won the league, we lost every single preseason game. Preseason just does not matter. I think preseason is good maybe to understand a couple of things about your team. Maybe see like a couple of signs. Maybe player X can't play here, player Y can't play there. You know, maybe certain formations, trying out a couple of different things. You know, like maybe like we learned that, for example, obviously not at a good level, but Nunes could play on the wing last summer. We learned it in preseason. We saw how badly we need the midfielder. The team didn't see it. It's fair enough. That season's over. Thank God it was over. But you just learn a couple of things in preseason. But my problem is people are extremely confused when it comes to preseason, because people will tell you preseason doesn't matter. And then, like, I don't want to like defend United here, but I'm gonna have to do it. You know, Arsenal fans over the last 24 hours have been extremely confused because their message is preseason doesn't matter, and then their next question is United should be in the title race. They beat Arsenal. So the question is, does preseason matter or does preseason not matter? Because if it doesn't matter, then yesterday's game means nothing. And if it does matter, it means something. So we've got to speak about your football club too. So for me, like, I look at preseason and I just maybe take it as something to learn from, where a player can play different formations, getting your fitness up. What's your fitness saying right now? And that's it. But in terms of results, it means nothing. Tomorrow we play some random German team called Firth. If we lose 4-0, I
It sounds
couldn't
like
care
Scottish plays Firth.
couldn't I've never
Five.
heard
You're
of that.
you're thinking of five.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, but actually, Hossam summed it up really good. It's not about a result, if you lose or win, but it's the way you play football. Like Man United last year under Ten Hag, when I watched them play that, I think you beat Liverpool. I saw the patterns of play. I saw the footprint of Ten Hag, what he's trying to do. Of course, it's not perfection. And when I saw Arsenal play against Chelsea, I saw Jesus dropping deep, Saka and Martinelli, all this stuff. And I saw what Arteta's trying to do, especially for a new coach. And I still consider Arteta last year is probably his first good season. Ten Hag was new as well. Having someone like Haaland in the preseason, especially last year, was good. If Liverpool get a midfielder, it's good for the manager to see these guys on the ground in a real game. Szoboszlai and McAllister. The result, it can be 3-2, it can be 5-3, it can be 4-0, it doesn't matter. But the way a team play, this is what matters. Like Sancho yesterday as a false nine. Anthony on the right side. It didn't have a good look, Anthony, but Sancho looked better. That kid, Mino, whatever, looked okay. Havertz at the 8 looked absolutely awful, for example. Nketiah didn't look good enough. Ramsdale looked a little bit shaky. These are indications. The result, throw it out the window, but you assist players because that's how coaches assist the players. Yeah. Because you cannot go the first game of the season because these are 3 points. People think the beginning of the season doesn't matter. It matters. It might not matter for Man City.
I hate that. Yeah, that narrative that
it might not matter for Man City because they put into fifth gear at the end of the season. But for every other club, the first 5 weeks, that's just 15 points.
Oh, but even you look, I say that sometimes, like, you know what, I don't even care about the opening couple of games of the season because I know it gets to the business end. That's where we come alive. But let's be clear, yeah, that's because as a City fan, even if we start the season badly, City starting the season badly is maybe in the opening 12 games, losing 2 games and winning the rest. And that's all. City haven't started too well because they haven't won every single game, right? We still have to start the season to a certain level. We can't go and go, let's literally just lose every game because this is going to be fun at the end. But I also think pre-season, something that's like, I think, for example, right now for Pochettino, for Tottenham, yeah, this is a big pre-season for them because they really have to make the most of every single game, getting to know what system works and all of that. Like it's more important for them than it is for City. I honestly believe at the moment, this pre-season for City, we're only playing 2 friendlies, I think, 2 or maybe 3 friendlies. This is marketing. We've gone to Japan. This is marketing. That's what that's for. And the other thing with pre-season is fringe players. That's the key for me. It's an opportunity for fringe players to play and impress the manager. And like the example I used on the show earlier was Dele Alli years ago at Tottenham, that they'd bought him from MK Dons. They'd loaned him back till the end of the season, but said to him very early doors, next summer, you're going to be with us on our tour. And then we'll see where we go from there. Someone got injured, so he came in and he had a blinding game. So Poch was like, you can play the next one. Another blinding game. And because every pre-season game he played in, he played well and took the advantage. It was like, Poch was like, cool. You're in the squad, and you're not just in the squad, you're starting because you've actually proven it. And I think that's where it is. That's why early on, I was really pushing this thing that it's unfortunate for Arteta that he's got Havertz, who he needs to embed and see where he can play. But he's also, because let's be real, Odegaard, he don't need to see nothing. Like it's like with Rodri, we don't need to see nothing. We know what they can do. But with Arteta, he's having to look at Havertz and work out where Havertz can play and embed him. But also, you've got Smith Rowe, who unfortunately couldn't come in because it's business end of the season. But now he needs embedding. We need to see what he's like now, or Arsenal and Arteta does. And it's like, and he's got to build up both of their confidence, because if he doesn't, if Smith Rowe doesn't start too much, he's going to go into the season thinking, am I another bit part player here? And probably start going, maybe I'll take a move or a loan or something.
I feel
Guys,
like what it is as
before
well,
we,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Go on, go
Ty,
on.
there's 800 people here, guys. The like button is very important to us. It pushes us to the next person, and it helps the channel massively grow and keeps us doing the content every day for you. Also, Hossam's channel, This is Football, is in the description. It's a simple name, This is Football, in the description. Go check him out. The daily shows, of course, with different panels, and also talk about Liverpool and also generic football about all the clubs. So check that out in the description, of course. Go ahead, Ty. Sorry.
And
Nah, bless, man, bless. I was going to say as well, I think I agree with what a lot of all of you have said, to be fair, because when you look at the top six, I'm going to talk about the top six more here. I feel like the results don't matter as much, but they all have a purpose in terms of what they're doing. So Man City, they already know what their squad is. They know the football they play. So it's just about getting fit and sharp for basically your opening day. Tottenham, it's about the players trying to adjust to the new manager's style. Liverpool, it's about incorporating the new midfielders, what they're going to do with Trent this season. And we look at Chelsea, I feel like Chelsea are the ones where it's a bit more open, because it's like everyone's in a black canvas, and it's like, right, who is actually going to show Pochettino that they want to play in the first game of the season? I feel like no one is nailed down there in the actual Chelsea team. Man United, it's like, okay, well, we want to play Mount and Bruno together, how we're going to incorporate the 2-8s, and now we've got a new goalkeeper. And I always say it as well, when you change a goalkeeper at a top six club, that's a position that lasts the longest. I'd say, like Edison stays for time, Allison, you know what I mean, and Ramsdale will stay for ages. When you change a goalkeeper, it's big. So now the players and the defense have got to get used to Onana. So that's our biggest change. So I feel like the results don't matter as much. However, each team have got a principle of something they want to like get out of it. And I think the biggest thing as well is that, like, I even look at it in 2014, we had Louis van Gaal, and Castle remember it. We beat every single team. Bro. We beat every single team on pre-season. I was in Napa. I remember watching the games in Napa, and I was getting gassed. Napa, and we're going to do this. We lost to Swansea first game of the season at Old Trafford, and it's kind of like, okay, well, the
pre-season. Was that Michu, though? Was that Michu?
Sigurdsson, he whipped a free kick.
But Michu, that would have been Michu's era, innit? So that's allowed to lose.
It was the one when Herrera ran off the line and then come back. Yeah, he was doing the madness.
Newly promoted Burnley, 0-0.
Yeah, it was 0-0. It was like, so when I look at pre-season, I would never get excited now, because Louis van Gaal sold me a dream in terms of winning all the games. So what I think, is just that each team has a principle, and I think Chelsea's is the one with the most open book, because every player is trying to stamp their priority down. But yeah, man, I don't look into it too much.
I want to look at Hassan would know with Liverpool. If you look at it, it confused me last season, right? Because you got to remember last summer was off the back of Liverpool's like quad season, where you'd played, I think, pretty much every game of football you could play, right?
Every game possible, yep.
Yeah, and then am I right that then in the pre-season, Klopp had you play in something like 7 or 8 friendlies? It was a mad number of.
Two friendlies in East Asia, I think it was as well.
Yeah.
So they spoke about it this season. So they're going a bit lighter in terms of fitness and preparation. They're going a bit like slower this season. I understand why, because the guys like, you know, clubs like myself and your clubs have just played too many games of football over this last 4 or 5 years. So you need to just chill out sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Does that you're on mute, by the way, Mo, but Ty, does not worry about you with Man United a slight touch, because we're playing like 8 pre-season games, but the only difference is the under 23s are apparently going to play Wrexham, and the first team, with most of them, didn't play in the first 2 games before Arsenal anyways. But that's still quite a lot to go when we just finished up on the FA Cup.
Yeah, we actually played the second longest season behind Man City, and I'll be honest with you, it does worry me a bit, because if you look at it, for example, I know Ahmad was not part of our squad last year, but he obviously went to Sunderland, played a lot of games, got to the playoffs, come back to us yesterday. Yes, it might have been an impact injury, but look, he's got an ankle injury. He's come out and said it's not as bad as first thought. However, just imagine that was Bruno Fernandes. Just imagine that was a Mason Mount. So the fact that these injuries can happen to any team, by the way, any player, it's just the fact that you know that, okay, we've still got 6 or 7 more games to play. If we had 4 or 5, I'll be a bit more at ease, because then they can rest a bit more. But
remember,
at the end of the day, you got
Leroy Sané, the Community Shield.
Yeah. I remember he'd done him, he done himself.
Season.
Yeah, done himself. And like, when you actually look at it, it's just like, it's a marketing thing. Obviously, they make a lot of money. It's the revenue. A lot of people, like in America last night, go out to see Man United because they don't get the chance to. So I understand it from both sides. But yeah, as a Man United fan, it more worries me when it gets closer to the start of the season. I think we've got like 2 games in the space of a week just before the season starts. So Yeah, man. I feel like our squad's not big enough. I feel like teams like Chelsea are in that comfortable position where they've got like 25 players that all want to play at the moment. Some want to leave, of course, but they can play 2 11s and they can switch it up. Whereas Man United and teams like Man City or even Liverpool, for example, they're playing with a team of like 16 where they want to get kind of their first 16 all trim, ready for the first game. Man United haven't got a massive squad like 25. We have got like only a solid 16, 17. So
half of them are garbage or overrated.
yeah, exactly. And they're still here. And also, you got to think about it. All of our teams, which we're going to touch on later, Olise and stuff like that, and Polina, top 6 clubs still want to make transfers. Tottenham are still screaming for 2 centre-backs. Chelsea are still screaming for a potential number 9, even though Jackson's in, and obviously more midfielders. You look at Arsenal, they're still saying they might get another midfielder if Thomas Partey don't stay, or, you know, whatever's going on there. Man City looking at a potential winger. So even if Man United and other teams make signings, them players are then still got to come in and then try and get some minutes or adjust a little bit into that team. So yeah, it's an interesting preseason. I kind of like it because a lot of games are on at the moment and you can kind of assess and you get excited, but at the same time it's like, does it really matter? Do you know what I mean? Does it?
I think so. Now I'm gonna put a twist onto it as well. I think it does matter these days because system football requires a good preseason because otherwise you're playing catch up mode. I think last season was a little bit evident. I think the season before was a bit evident as well.
Is it more for would you say more for confidence though, Cass? Like results is more confidence based for going into the first game?
That's the whole point. I think it's the confidence part. I think you need to show hunger at the start of the season and confidence. I think ability goes out the window a little bit more or less. And then you usually see, remember when Crystal Palace came Man United and then we got ramaged like 3-1? I think it was at Old Trafford as well. We got
first game of the season. That's when VAR come out. Yep.
But yeah, that we got battered. Yep. And then it was just, it's like that. I think it does matter more these days than it did maybe back then. But I don't know, man. Enlighten me if you think I'm
okay,
wrong.
Let me ask you a question. Let me flip it and ask everyone here. Obviously, Mo, you can still count because you're Inter Milan. You still got a pre-season. If you guys
get some players first.
Yeah, it's true. If you guys did lose, Mo, say you won 1 and lost 6 of your pre-season games, would you guys be bothered going into the first game, or you would be going like, okay, fresh start, this is the Premier League now? Like, how would you guys see it if you did lose most of your games? That's a good way of putting it.
Sam, go ahead. I mean, when we lost all our games, we won the league. We actually started the league.
Okay, but going into the first game, you won the league. That's May. What did you feel like going into the first game of the season when you had lost all them?
I mean, I can't lie. As a human being, you do get worried a little bit if you lose too many games, you know? Because specific, like, I know you guys don't know this feeling. Only me and Daps know it. But like, my club has been able to win 15, 16, 17 games in a row. So winning has just become norm. You know, that's why when we lose, it's like the end of the world. So like when we lost in preseason, it was just like shit. Like,
can I ask you something, Hussam, about this?
How have we lost this many games?
Hussam, did you try in that preseason? Did you try any new players? Or it was the same squad as the day before?
Great question.
And because in
now
that preseason, if I remember, you said that in that preseason.
You know why that's a bad question? That's not a great question. Because after we won the UCL, we signed the Harvey Elliott, Sepp Vandenberg, and Adrian.
No,
so we had
no, but they're not starters like McAllister and Sobel.
We had nothing to try anyway.
We're talking about
exactly like you said.
There was nothing to try.
Yeah, did you say earlier that Jurgen Klopp was trying strange stuff in that preseason?
Last summer, yes, last summer.
So that means, but in that season, I remember your starting 11 was known before the season starts. You know who's gonna start.
Of course.
Season first game of the season, you know who's starting. So
yeah, he
didn't
switch things up at all. He started
and the season before you played the same system. The season before, did you win the Champions League? The season before, yes, you did.
No, the season before was COVID year.
Yeah, that was the COVID year, right?
Yeah, we didn't win anything. We had the injuries for the center back.
That's the Van Dijk injury, right? That was the the Pickford injury. So, but the difference is now this preseason, everything rides on the transfer market. For all the teams other than Man City, even Man City now, I can put them in the bracket because of the players leaving. So this preseason matters because nobody knows who's going to start next year for any club. You don't know the starting 11 for the first game. Nobody knows.
Even if you look at City like today, the fact that Cancelo played, right? And Laporte...
Nice assist, by the way.
To be fair. Laporte played, right? Kyle Walker played, Bernardo Silva played. Now, the reports are that Laporte and Bilbao, that's going to happen. I'm pretty certain Laporte will go. But in case they don't, you can't just not let them play, right? And also, in the case of Cancelo at the moment, kind of people would say, You know, no one wants to pay the money for Cancelo. Well, if someone watched today and saw the assist, all of a sudden they might be like, you know what? Should we have a look at Cancelo? And same with now, it's a bit like with Walker. If Walker goes, because apparently Bayern representatives are flying out to Japan to have meetings with City over there about Walker, right? So me and Mo were speaking, and if Walker does go, then if Cancelo has come back and said to Pep, listen, I was in the wrong. I'm willing. I know I'm not going to start every game. I'm willing to be a squad player. And with Walker going, Pep might think, well, Cancelo plays left and right, right? If we can't sell him because no one's going to pay the money, maybe I do need to make peace with him, and maybe we do invite him back. Because the thing with Cancelo is very close with a lot of City players, like very, very close at their weddings, like best friends with Bernardo Silva. So there would be a piece of, do you know what? Actually, maybe we do give him. And that, again, we wouldn't know that if it wasn't for the pre-season. And so it is, even City, in hindsight, we're looking at it thinking, Calvin Phillips, I've said vocally that he needs to have a good pre-season. He needs to impress Pep, because last season he didn't by returning from the World Cup unfit. So he has to be fit. He has to grab this opportunity, because if he doesn't, if Calvin Phillips doesn't impress in the pre-season, then I would not rule out him being sold before the transfer window closes. Like that, because I think Pep will think, now we can't go into another season, because Rodri's stayed very fit for 3-4 years. That, you know, no player really goes through their career staying constantly fit. So we need to have backup ready. And if Calvin Phillips is not ticking that box, then I have no doubt Pep will look elsewhere. So,
Do you know what I think as well, Daps, is that with Rodri, because he's proven in the position, for example, you don't need to worry about seeing him too much in pre-season. He can get 30 minutes a game, keep himself ticking over. But with Calvin Phillips, because he's had the injuries and he was a bit overweight when he come back from the World Cup even, he's never really had that chance to sort of get that rhythm. But he's got no excuses now, because if Pep's giving him a first chance on the first game of pre-season, he's probably going to get more chances just to prove himself and get himself ready, that if the season does come and he needs to be called up on, he is ready. I'm just going to run up something. There's 940 of you in here. Breaking news 1 minute ago from Chris Wheeler and Matt Barlow. Tottenham owner, and he never gets involved, by the way, he lives in the Caribbean. Tottenham owner Joe Lewis tells Daniel Levy he must sell Harry Kane this summer if he doesn't sign a new 400,000 a week contract. Breaking news.
wow.
So Kane
You remember me, Daps? You remember
going.
me when I said the same people will interfere to tell him, well, listen,
Yeah.
you are
Mo,
stubborn, yes,
listen,
but this is
Mo, I'm
business.
telling
Yeah.
you now,
This is
yeah.
business, bro.
In my
And
years-
you're right, because he isn't the owner, is he? He's
No,
he's
in
not
my
the owner.
years, in my
Yeah.
years, listening to football, Joe Lewis has been the owner from time. He
Yeah.
never speaks. He lives in the Caribbean and Barbados,
Yeah.
chilling. Like, him to get involved, that's serious. That's breaking news
The
as well.
same
That's reliable,
people
so.
told
We're
Levy,
not getting
listen,
him,
bro.
man. We're not getting him. We got. Do you know who we got in the bag? Still, we still are owned by Glazers. Do you not understand?
Mm.
He's going to Bayern Munich one
That's
way or
actually
another.
mad,
what's
though.
happened
Think-
here? How did Man
I don't
United get
understand
thrown into that? What happened there?
Cass, why you don't want to run that narrative? Why?
We barely even want
Honestly.
to. We don't even want to fork out 25 million for Amrabat until we
Yeah,
sold
but
Fred.
that's
Actually,
Harry
mad,
Kane.
though, when you
That's
actually think
completely
about it,
different.
like, generally
No,
think
you
about
don't-
it, the
you
years
don't
of
get-
actually watch football, yeah, I think since 20, Kane's been there since 2014 playing. He generally, like, that's the first time I'm like, right, he's actually gone. Like, you hear reports like buying this, or Kane might set his contract. The fact that the owners come out, now it's breaking everywhere now. He's come out and said if he doesn't sign 400,000 a week, he's gone. For me, he's gone. Like, I think Tottenham are now actually starting the season.
Or he
potentially
might
about having
sign,
Kane there.
Ty. Or he might sign.
Mo,
Nice.
if he does, that tells us everything.
Yeah,
That
but he
tells us
might
everything.
sign. Who's gonna? Okay, so listen, it's all about asking price. Right? It's all about asking price. They cannot sell him on a loss. If his football is worth 80 million, they
What's
have to
regarded as a loss?
his football is worth 80 million, 70. Kane might be the difference between Spurs getting European football or not. That counts for money. I think they need to do the math and see how much he's worth. Forget the inflated price, the 150, all the garbage talk. He's not
Yeah.
with 1 year left. But the real math, what I mean, how much would we lose if Harry Kane leaves the club? That's what he's worth. 80 million, 70 million.
Yeah, I think
That's what
80
he's
million does it now. Now the owner's spoken, 80 million does it.
No. Just to wrap up the Kane, because talk about Harry Kane's just is
Yeah,
annoying.
no, we'll do it another. Yeah, but I just wanted to drop
I
that. Yeah,
actually want to give up Hoyland to go pursue a dream that might not even happen. And
Yeah,
it's
we
like
did that before, bro. It's you don't. The thing with that, we did that with Kane. To be frank with you, we did do that with exactly that with Kane. That we we pretty much, and there's been another pre-season where there was a pre-season where we needed a few players in a few important positions. And remember where Messi came out and said, "I'm leaving Barcelona," right? And it got heavily linked that, oh my God, City are actually going to get Messi. Remember when Messi actually said, "I'm leaving," and then you turned, right? And we wasted pretty much the whole transfer window with an obsession with Messi. And it's like, brilliant. We haven't actually got the position filled because we've been obsessed with putting all of our transfer key towards this one man. So you're right. The only thing is with the owner doing that, it's a bit mad because it's almost like you've now taken the advantage away from Spurs in negotiations, because clubs out there are like, right, we know you want to sell him now. We know that you want to sell him. So
and also, Daps, if you were Kane, are you going to be sitting there thinking, well, I don't even want to sign the deal now?
I don't know what Kane thinks, bro. No idea.
Yeah, be mad. We'll talk about it more tomorrow, see what happens when it comes out. But yeah, man, people keep liking, by the way.
Polinia, I just saw something else. Is Polinia dislocating his shoulder?
Yeah,
that's not. I mean, how long is that? How many months?
Not bad.
Could be
not
up
that
to
bad,
6
is it?
weeks.
It's not
Max,
bad.
Really.
Yeah. That's not gonna. You're not gonna buy him just because of that.
No, exactly. Yeah. There's 990 here as well, people. Nearly 1,000. So, guys, please make sure you keep smashing the like button. Make sure you subscribe as well if you're new. Even Mo's taking a sip of a lovely cold drink on a Sunday for you lot, and then also subscribe.
I don't know what is this, but Daps can explain what is this.
Oh, that's the only beer I drink. I don't even drink beer. That's the only beer I drink. Because it smells of something. But anyway,
well, it tastes like a tequila. It says that's tequila.
Oh, it's a non-alcoholic beer anyway, so enjoy it.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. So keep smashing the like button. We're going to move on because we're very interested, obviously, in talking about Polinia, like Daps mentioned. Obviously, he's just hurt his shoulder, got off with a dislocated shoulder, apparently. Obviously, we don't know how long he's going to be out for, but whether Liverpool want him or not, I don't think that's going to budge too much in terms of their transfer targets. Sam, first question I'm going to ask you is, Polinia is obviously a great player. A lot of clubs will take him. Me and Cass will take him. But if you've got Lavia, Polinia there, and who could I throw in? Amrabat as another option. I want to just say to you, rank your three in order who you'd want.
Oh shit! This is such a
what? He didn't ask. Not a math question.
Sorry, Sam. Do you want us to put some other names in there as well?
This is such a dividing conversation in my fan base.
I don't, but Hassan, you're streaming me enough. I don't do easy questions.
Like with Amrabat, I really like him. Half my fan base just absolutely despise Amrabat. The other half really want him. Half the fan base really hate Polinia. The other half really want him. Lavia is probably the one where we're most on agreement on, but he's a child still, like in terms of football. Look, for me, I want that third position to be someone of age. I don't want us to sign 5 kids in there. That's definitely what I'm not trying to see, because 5 kids ain't gonna take us anywhere. Because you can't have half the team old as hell, the other half just all kids. It just doesn't work out. So
and that backs up what we said on Battle of the North, where actually I was backing you up, where we were saying you can't let Milner, Henderson, and Fabinho all go. Yeah. I'm bringing a load of younger players.
That's why I wanted to keep Fabinho.
Yeah.
And it looks like he might stay now because dogs ain't allowed in Saudi Arabia. So we will see what happens.
Really?
That might be
crap, bro.
That might be the funniest reason ever for a transfer to not happen, because pit bulls ain't allowed in Saudi Arabia. So he can just let go of his pit bull. So, he might end up staying, which would be actually a big blessing in disguise. But I'd probably rank them Amrabat first, Lavia second, and I'd go Polinia third. I don't like Polinia like that.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't like
I'd agree with that. Spot on as well, by the way.
I don't like Polinia like that. I think Polinia is a bit overrated still, and I think Fulham, have kind of maybe taken people's minds away from him because they're taking the piss with the price tag as well. Like you can't be asking for 70 million for a 28-year-old unless it's like Kane or someone. Like, okay, I get it, but if it's Polinia, Polinia ain't that guy. I don't know where we go.
I didn't realize he was that old.
He ain't that guy. 70 million, 60 million, that's too much. 50 million is too much. That guy's worth 30 million at best. I think his football ability ain't all that either. He's essentially just as the new generation likes to call it, a destroyer. He's just a destroyer. So I don't see anything special with him. He's good at tackling, and then after that it's just whatever. So for me, I rank them Amrabat first, Lavia second, Polinia third, just because of the age factor.
And but the price, the price as well, right? Because you get Amrabat for a lot less.
23 minutes.
If you ask me now, I keep Fabinho and I buy Lavia. That's what I think is the best case scenario. And Fabinho, because of reputation, just based on reputation alone, just as a Champions League winner, as a Premier League winner, we'd always get money for him. It's not like if we keep him till next summer where he's gonna get sold for 5 million. We're gonna get 25, 30. Well, it depends if this club really want to win the league or not. That's just the matter of fact for me.
I have to disagree. I think Paulinho, for me, anyways, of course, I rate Paulinho. I rated him before he even went to Fulham. I really wanted him at Man United. Me and Mike Griggs, like we really wanted him and Nunes, at least get us one of them. But Paulinho, for me, you know what the special thing for me about Paulinho is that he can do it in a 2-man midfield. And I think his footballing ability is more underrated, if anything. I think you can. I had the luxury to watch him live as well against us. I think twice this season as it goes. And
where the hell is Greg's gone? By the way, I haven't seen him in like a year.
No, he's around. He's always he's here and there.
Does he still do content? He's actually disappeared. Like I haven't seen him in a long ass time.
More a feature on people's channels. Like he's usually on your nemesis on whatever they do.
Let's not go there, man. This is public YouTube. Let's
you're right. Yeah, he does do. Yeah, he does go on there actually.
I just did nemesis. But no, there's nothing there. But no, other than that, he's just on that channel more time. But yeah, but I think Liverpool are gonna. I think you even said it yourself. The best thing about Liverpool finishing outside the top 4 is that the fact they're probably gonna go and probably spend around 200 million. So far, you spend whatever you did on McAllister. Let's just say 40 million, just to call it for what it is. And who's the other side? Szoboszlai. Let's say that's what was that for 55, 60 something. So let's just call that 100 million. You're gonna go buy a DM. It's gonna cost you around, let's say 40 to 50. I don't think you want to pay 50, but I think 40 is okay. But then you're gonna go go get a centre back. You're gonna spend probably less than 200. You're doing all right. You was right, and then it upgrades the squad ultimately. But is it enough in your eyes?
No, it's not enough. We need 2 midfielders and a centre back. That's what we need. Unless we get those 3 positions. So that's if Fabinho.
Hold on. On top of
if Fabinho leaves.
If Fabinho leaves.
Okay. If Fabinho leaves, we need 2 midfielders and a centre back. If he stays, then I'm cool with getting Lavia and getting a centre back. But we definitely need a centre back as well. And the reason is, look, all 4 centre backs we got are injury prone. Van Dijk is susceptible to an injury. Konate, Gomez, and Matip. Last thing I need is like Fabinho at 39 playing centre back. I ain't trying to see that. So I need a centre back, and of course the DM position. We've spoken about that already. I think that would definitely cover our depth because we need depth in that specific position. Because actually, currently at the club, other than Fabinho, there is no real player who could play DM.
No,
like you could like shoehorn someone in there, but it's not. It won't be effective. So we need a DM. So that's why I'm saying if Fabinho leaves, it becomes 2 DMs. But if Fabinho stays, then it's 1 DM. So that's how I look at it.
And this is my only problem, Hassam, right? Because I think that Liverpool, and of course Liverpool my rivals, but putting my football head on, I actually think that you could be back competing up there with the Arsenals and Man Cities again. I think last year was a bit of a blip, but if you get your 3 or 4 midfielders in, and I think you get that centre back, which I agree you need, then I think you can be back up there because your experienced players and the way you play your football and your manager is still there. Nothing's really changed in that sense. However, I was thinking about it now, just with what you said. If Fabinho does leave, which is like 90% going to happen, right? You're saying that you're going to want 2 more midfielders in. So that will be Szoboszlai, McAllister, and 2 more. I don't know what your ambitions or what your aims were going into next season. Right?
Win the league.
Okay, there you go. Right. So my question is, do you not think it would be quite difficult?
Did he just say win the league?
Yeah, Mo. Let me ask him. That's what I want to ask him.
Did it go over your head like this?
This is why I wanted to ask him this because Sam,
you know,
Mu'min, you ask all City fans right now who they think about more, me or Arsenal. They tell you me right now.
No, but maybe Hassan's been consistent with this. He does, and this is the thing you've got to remember. Like, right. So last season,
let me ask him this after.
So last season, going into last season, I think one of Liverpool's biggest frustrations was that they hadn't, after they'd come very close to doing the quad, they hadn't gone and strengthened enough. Because whatever you do, in an ideal world, your next season, you want it to be as good as or better. Right,
100%.
So, okay, Liverpool have had a season off,
and from this stage, it can only get better. To be fair, because it was very crap. But
just because Liverpool have had 1 season off being in the title race, that doesn't mean they're now going to go, okay, well, we don't want to win the league now. We just want to finish fourth.
I
That's
agree with that.
That's not
I
Liverpool.
know, and I
That
agree with
isn't
that. That's why I do think they signed the players.
Hi, did you watch Klopp's
The only
interview?
question is for you,
His
Sam,
latest
though, is
clip.
that...
Did you watch it?
Say again?
Did you watch Klopp's latest clip on
No.
Twitter?
Run that in a sec. I just want to ask this before, because I know the convo can go quickly A to Z.
Go on.
If you want to challenge for the title, which I think you can as well, I believe you can. However, do you not think, when you think of the core, like Man City's Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne, just as an example, right? When you had your Henderson, Fabinho's, and whoever it was, Milner's or whatever, running the midfield, if you bring in 4 midfielders and let 3 go, do you not think it's hard to then just go and challenge immediately for a title if they've not played together and you're just hoping that they just all gel? That's just my only worry.
No. I don't think it's difficult at all to expect them to gel, because the same way I give the respect to Pep that I really don't give a fuck who they buy. It's still Pep and it's still Man City. I'm gonna give Klopp the same respect. The problem at Liverpool Football Club, the bottom line problem is not spending enough money. There's other problems other than that, but we haven't spent enough money. We haven't, kind of strengthened enough. The reason actually why that would be a bigger problem for City than us is Gundogan was an unbelievable player. Bernardo Silva was an unbelievable player. Henderson dropped unbelievable stinkers. Let me not say anything now, because Liverpool Twitter are going to cancel me if they're watching this. So let me just say, thank you for your services, Captain. Good luck, Saudi Arabia. But he was crap. He's been crap for a while. You look at others as well in the team, like the likes of like Ox, Keita. They don't even count, to be honest with you. Milner as well. Like he was coming towards the end. He's coming towards the end of his career anyway. So like it's not like he was a massive part of this whole thing. That's why for me I said the key for me personally, what I would have done personally, was kept Thiago and Fabinho. Now, if the club want to sell Fabinho, and I've got no problem with that, but my counter to that would be buy someone of age. Don't buy 2 kids, buy 1 kid and another guy who's like 25 or older. That's how I think we could take it to the next level. But my thing is, look, you look at this Liverpool team, and Europa League is a blessing in disguise for us. Because I know Klopp ain't going to play any of them starters until March. So essentially, I've got, and even possibly April as well. If we top the group, we won't even play a round of 32. So if we top the group, I don't expect to see Salah, Van Dijk, Trent, Alisson, any of like the elite players until March in that competition, or April. So essentially, in essence, we've got 1 game a week. Now I trust Klopp, the players, the elite players in this team, that they're able to do something next season, and I think we can win the league. And I think this season is a blip. This season isn't an indication of a fall off or a drop off. Same way, if City finish 4th this season, as an example, I'm not going to come out here and say, oh my God, like I wouldn't look at Arsenal or United or any other club. I'd look at City, because the teams that have been consistent over the last 5 years, you've got to respect consistency. 1 bad year does not, push that to the side. Yes, we had a horrible season, but I still know Liverpool Football Club, if we get our shit together, we could win 10, 15 games in a row, 16 games in a row, 17 games in a row. And if we get it started, if we get that run started, we win 7, 8 in a row. It's a matter of time before it comes to 11.
Well,
and
look at
12,
the end of last
13.
season. You won 8 out of your last 9. So
Do you know what?
Exactly. So we're capable of doing it.
I've been saying this, that for me, with Liverpool, I think it's massive how they start the season. Because I think firstly, it's massive. I've said this last season. Admittedly, I was saying all season for ages, I still worry about Liverpool, even when I just thought they were going to get Champions League football. That's just because we've gone back and forth and whatever. But then I look at Liverpool, and I'm saying next season, I think Arsenal will challenge. Right, 100%. I think Arsenal will challenge. And this thing that there seems to be this thing at the moment with, like, if I say that, Liverpool fans are like, what? So you don't think we will? Or if I say Liverpool challenge, Arsenal fans will, what? You don't think we will? No, I think you both will, right? But it's key, the transfer window, because the thing with Liverpool, with Arsenal, it's recency, that they did it last year. They strengthened their squad. Why wouldn't they this season? With Liverpool, it's the fact they've got the same manager who's done it. They've got the same sparring in Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah. They've still got that there, and they know the gaps. You plug the gaps. Why would Liverpool not challenge? It's just, and if they start the season well, exactly like Hassam said, they start getting a run of games together. That's where Liverpool become a monster, when they start, like, very similar.
I feel like that's me and you in agreement or not. I feel like Mo is not, and because I don't know.
No,
I
well,
like
it's not that. I always have this thing, right? And a lot of new players in a team. It's going to be a surprise.
Okay, so you're worried about the 4 midfielders gelling as well.
That's it. Like when Hussam said, if we sell Fabinho, we'll get 2 new midfielders. That means the 3 in the midfield, I'm excluding Thiago because he's injured all the time. That is
But now
too
one
new.
game a week, you can't exclude them. That's the good part of the
Wait,
Europa.
one game a week.
Yeah, I hear you, Osam, but
You ain't gonna see any of them in the Europa. You ain't gonna see any of them in the
it's
Europa.
not that. I am basing this on how Man City started last year because of Haaland. They were scoring goals, but the team looked shaky a little bit. In the back, they were conceding. Of course, Diaz was injured as well. My point is, Liverpool in the quad year, they had the same team, completely the same team. That one that was okay. Van Dijk got injured, but the year before they won the Champions League, they kind of had the same team. If you get new midfield, 3 midfielders, that's too new for me. If Jurgen Klopp can do wonders with these guys and start strong, he's a genius. Is he a genius? He proved it before that he's good, but you can't just get McAllister.
How can you say he proved before he's good? This is so disingenuous, Mo. Mo, the only guy to beat Pep to a league title is Jurgen Klopp. Like, let's not act like he's another guy.
I agree. That's why I'm giving him. I say that the only guy,
he is a genius. He's not just proven he's good.
The only guy, but the only guy that can do it is Jurgen Klopp. However, Pep Guardiola struggled a little bit. He struggled with Haaland a little bit. He scored goals.
They struggled so much they want to treble.
Oh, yeah, you're not listening to what I said. They are
moment.
Okay, let me finish
before
let me finish.
You're saying wild shit. That's the problem. You're saying crazy shit. Like,
yeah, you think so? Maybe.
Well, can I ask you,
in the beginning of the season, Man City were not the same Man City.
But no,
the plan kept changing.
Mo, sorry, guys, Mo,
it's not about. It's not about. Again, it's not about starting.
They
slow.
started quick one time, Mo.
That's out of all the times we've won the league.
It's not about that. You're missing the point. No, you're missing.
They always start
Yeah. That next sentence is gonna tell you, Man City and Pep Guardiola had to change the way they play, and when it worked to perfection. But before that, they started slow, but it was the same way, and it's like the car is clicking. But they had to change the car. They had to change the petrol. They had to change the way they played, but when it worked to perfection. Yeah, before, it was just a slow start.
Here's the thing. In a way, I agree with you, but what you're saying there is that this season, we had to change because we had Haaland, right? But then if I go to the other seasons we've started slow, which is of the 5 Premier Leagues Pep has lost, 4 of them we've started slow. If I go to them, I can say, well, one of them we had to change the way we played in the personnel because Laporte and Sane were out. So that was a change, right? Another time we had to change because we thought we were going to have Aguero fit for the season. Aguero got injured. So every season we've started slow for a reason, and we've had to change things. So we've always had to change things. But I was telling you, because even in February, Mo, you were on here saying City do not look like the same team and what everyone always does.
He doesn't know that.
What I'm telling you now, everyone, remember I'm saying this. In between August and January, now in 2023-24, right, I will hear, Man City don't look like the same Man City. But what you're doing is you're comparing Manchester City between August and January, February, with Manchester City from March to May, right? And it's not a fair comparison because it's just the way we are. So this whole thing.
By the way,
let me go back to Liverpool.
Let me just prove Daps' point with one thing. You know what's proof of all this? The quadruple year for Liverpool Football Club. In December, Chelsea were top of the league. Forget my club, forget Daps. Chelsea were top of the league in that time. So this whole thing of City, they started slow because of Haaland, blah, blah, blah. Okay, even if they did, they always start slow anyway. So even if they didn't sign Haaland, they would have still started slow for some reason. Like something would have happened that would have caused them to start slow because that's how they build up their momentum. And when it's February time, City put the I don't know how they say it, the pedal on the gas or the gas on the pedal, whatever, and they just keep going. Now the difference is, Mo, this is why I'm more confident in my club maybe than Arsenal fans. And I say this with no arrogance, but it's just reality. If Liverpool Football Club,
I am more confident.
No, I'm gonna say it realistically. If Liverpool Football Club were in Arsenal's position, we win the league. This is the difference. So if Liverpool really get ahead And I'm talking about it's March time and we're 12 points ahead. We're 15
Yeah.
points ahead. We're 10 points ahead. We finish the job. And it's not even about beating Man
I
City.
back that.
We don't draw to Southampton. We don't draw to West Ham. We don't do those things in those games. That's where experience plays a thing. The average age of our squad is not 13 like Arsenal Football Club. We've got players who are 29, 30, 31, 32. They've been there, they've done that. They've played Champions League finals. They've sat on Ballon d'Or podiums. Like, these are players who have been there, done that. That's why I trust the club to get it right. Now, is it a question, okay, maybe it's too much if we have a new midfield? Yes, correct. But at the same time, because it's Klopp, because it's that experienced core, I think we could do it.
You think the balance is there to basically help you get through it then?
I disagree, by the way. I'm going to disagree. Not down to delusion. I think Man United finish above Liverpool. Just down to, I think you're going to. I just feel like you're going to take Europa League serious because it is a competition Klopp's never won, and I think he's going to play some decent players, not just kids. I think you can afford to just play kids. You just get knocked out early anyways. Maybe that's what you want anyway. You don't care about Europa.
Yeah, we
wouldn't
mind that early.
You don't want to go. That's embarrassing if you can't even get through group stages. Why I think so is because if you lose Henderson and Fabinho, I think that gel, don't care if you got Salah, don't care if you got Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, Alisson. That's the whole point. Other than that, we've also got the Casemiro, we got Varane, we got so-and-so, we got Martinez who's won league, whatever. Not the Premier League though, I suppose. I just think it's a whole. I think if you get another 2 signings, I think you've lost all the midfield experience that you want, except other than Thiago, right? And I just think it might be a little bit too much to go and win this time around. I don't believe Diaz is new.
Yeah.
Nunez is new.
I hear it as well.
Gakpo is new. Who am I missing? McAllister, Szoboszlai. We don't even know if they're going to work out yet, of course, because it is a brand new midfield. Let's say you do get a Lavia. It's all brand new, and you don't know what. Maybe even go get a decent centre back that might even take a position. Maybe I don't know.
So
I just think
just on that new bit as well. The other thing is, what people have to remember a little bit is the fact that Trent inverting, that's still pretty new as well. And so, you know,
And
Trent
Henderson was the best at covering him in terms of that sort of role.
When Cass says that, he's okay. But when I say that, it's shit, right?
No, but Sam, when you talk about getting
Henderson ain't been good in 2 years, bro. Like,
no, forget
he
that.
ain't covered Trent at all. Where was Trent's cover this season? You know, if you get me on Henderson, wallahi, this show will never end. Don't get me on. Ask more about my Henderson stuff, I promise.
Listen, Henderson in the quad year, I'm gonna call it the almost quad year, was good.
He was like our 4th best midfielder.
Bro, he was the one covering for.
We started winning games when we played Fabinho.
Listen, I'm not gonna get into this argument that I got into it with you last week. Okay,
why do you like to change this?
We're gonna take hours.
You know more. It is something good. You do this with the mic, and then you start chatting shit. And then you start chatting shit like you're actually speaking facts. We were 14 points behind Man City.
Listen, Henderson was the reason that year Trent was on fire. Oh my God, come on, stop it, Hassan.
Moment.
You know that you have an agenda against Henderson. And you started it on your channel.
Mo, it's the truth. When Trent was thriving, Henderson was great at filling in that
No,
role.
he was
Forget that now.
He doesn't want to admit it because I have an agenda.
Yeah,
the almost.
Sam, you know what? Let me I agree with you, by the way. I think
just say one thing, and then I go on mute. The almost quadruple year, we were 14 points behind Man City in January. We started winning games because of the NFT midfield. There is no H in NFT. It was Keita, it was Fabinho, it was Thiago. That's the 3 in midfield that played the most games.
I hear you. But Trent was I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to do the super chats and move on. When Trent was firing, like me and Mo was saying, Henderson was his bodyguard, like someone said in the comments.
In 1920, yes.
However, what we're thinking with Henderson, and where I do agree with what Cass is saying,
40 years ago.
What I'm agreeing with what Cass is saying in terms of the leadership maybe as well, that Henderson is super vocal and he's that guy in the change rooms that can maybe keep you going through tough moments. Now Van Dijk is going to have to step up and do it. Now Salah is, and yes, they might be great players, but sometimes you don't know if they've got that aura to actually possess what Henderson's got. But anyway, we'll see. This is what Klopp's got to sort out. If he wants 1 or 2 midfielders, let's find out. But guys,
say a lot that I have to respond to, but I'm stopping myself.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move on. Don't worry, Sam. We've got loads of shows over the summer. 950 of you here. Please make sure you keep smashing the like button, people. Let's get that to 400 likes, 500 likes, even if you guys want to be generous. Also, subscribe to Sam's channel. This is Football, down below, where he does content every single day with different panelists as well. And also, just so you know, guys, liking this video does help us reach new people all around the world. We know we have people from Kenya, Brazil, all these random places watching. So we massively appreciate you guys in the comments. Super chats here. Highbury Ultra says the 90s, 2000s preseason was a non-event just used for fitness. Now with social media, it's all over analyzed. We went invincible with a terrible preseason. That's a fair point. I understand where you're coming from, to be fair, Highbury Ultra. Thanks for the super chat as well. Massively appreciate it. And Michael Johnson says, think Kane ends up at United now. There are reports that we could launch another bid, but we'll probably talk about that tomorrow.
PR. I want to hear it. It's all PR, man. It's all PR.
When stuff comes out. But moving on to a team that potentially are making a bid for a winger that I literally spoke on the other day, saying if Riyad Mahrez leaves, Manchester City should be looking at Michael Olise. And now it's come out that Chelsea and Manchester City are eyeing up a release clause of £35 million, which today is cheap as hell. Daps, happy with that?
Bo, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to act like I think it's going to happen. I'm not going to act like I even definitely think City are in yet. Initially, I thought, okay, I'm open to that, because I've said to City fans, like, some of our fan base needs to calm down, right? They're, oh my God, I'm really worried and this and that. There's elements of our fan base that are calling for some of City's boards, heads, yeah, saying this is ridiculous. They're incompetent, and this is like Kane all over again when we're not willing to pay the money for players. It's like, well, in hindsight, we didn't get Kane. We got Haaland the year after and did a treble. So calm down. This board is the reason why we are where we are. Like, this isn't, we're not Liverpool. We're not Man United. We're not Tottenham. There's no need to slander our board. And they're saying, but loads of players have listed. I'm like, have left. Who's left? And they go, well, Gundogan. Yeah, cool. That's a hard one to swallow. We've brought in Kovacic. Do I think he's as good as Gundogan? No. But do I think that he'll be able to do a job and Pep will get him up to speed? Absolutely. Then they go, Mahrez. I said, Mahrez hasn't actually officially left yet, yeah? So before we start slandering the board that they're not getting a replacement for Mahrez, let Mahrez leave first. Like, we're talking, Walker hasn't left, Bernardo hasn't left, Laporte hasn't left. None of these players have left yet.
Mahrez has left.
Bro, listen, on Friday, yeah, which is when Mahrez was still a Manchester City player. Is the deal done and everything? Yes, but has he been announced? No. You go and check his Twitter. He is still a Manchester City player at this point. Yeah. So once it's unveiled, cool. But what I'm saying is, I know he's going, but give the board a second. The man hasn't left. Now we do need a winner.
When is it panic time? When is it panic time?
Oh, for me, it's panic time.
As a
when the
City
transfer window,
fan, it
when
should
the
be
transfer
never.
window
That's the
closes,
real
bro. Like, but to be frank with you, I won't panic.
Why should Daps panic? Why?
Why would we panic?
No, I'm asking a genuine question.
No, for
if
me,
you don't get Gavardio, you don't get Olise, you bid for Rice and you don't get it. When is it panic? When is it panic time?
It's panic times. It's panic times when mathematically next season we can't win the league.
Okay.
That's when it's panic time. Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
That's when
it's panic time. But listen, back to the Elise thing.
You want the City fan to panic? Wallahi, you're so shameless. This guy.
I'm sorry,
never gonna panic.
It was a genuine question.
Bro,
it wasn't genuine because you smirked. You smirked and you're a liar. It wasn't genuine.
Me and Daps talk all the time, right? And he says that a lot of Man City fans now, he calls them whatever fans, they are panicking. They are onto the board.
But bro,
and I'm like, when should they panic? I'm asking generally.
All of us lot are saying, when they're like, we don't need to worry. We've just won a treble. We've just won a treble. And last season in February, I think it was, where Arsenal were, it looked like Arsenal were going to win the league. And this is the thing. Everyone that currently is saying, oh, City might not be as strong next year and grabbing all these reasons, yeah, they're the same people that in February and March were saying Arsenal are winning the league, right? And I was saying, do you know what? I get it. I'm looking at it. I see why you're saying it. But I've got to go with the facts. And the facts are, that I trust the board. I trust the manager. I trust the players. Now, do I think we need to replace Mahrez, though? Yeah, I do. Would I like Olise? Yeah, I would. And at first I thought, okay. But then the way the news came out very swiftly afterwards that Chelsea are apparently in a place where they've already got the agreement to put the bid in, I thought, do you know what?
They don't.
Right, but right now, Cass, right now, all
You
we're
got
gonna
to
do is
remember that. Remember yesterday we were talking about Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Kudus, and then all of a sudden the
Yeah,
Michael.
but this is where I don't get carried away with nothing, right? Because I know teams like whether it be City, whether it be United, City need a winger, right? So straight away, their name will be thrown in. Any other big club that goes for a winger, City's name will be thrown in. Same way with DMs. Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, they'll all be thrown in for a DM to inflate the price. The minute Chelsea buy Caicedo, Lavia's cost will go down, right? Because one of the DMs been taken off the market, yeah? And one of the clubs after DMs is off the market. So at the moment, all we're going by is it City that really want him or is it Chelsea that really want him? Because I guarantee you, only one of us really want him, and the other one's name is just being thrown in the hat so the negotiations can go better. So until I see it, I'm just not getting carried away.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand why my club decided to pay 80 million for a fidget spinner when 35 million Olise is there. I don't get why Newcastle didn't go get Olise. Instead, they're going to get an average player in Harvey Barnes. Like, I just don't get when they're still stuck with Almiron. I just find it.
This is what I wanted to ask you, Cass. Do you think it's strange that with Chelsea having Madueke and then only having one game a year, that they're now linked to Olise? If I'm Olise, you go to Man City. It's the obvious choice. So why are Chelsea linked with him if they've got Madueke and they just signed him?
Maybe they're just, you know what it is? It all come from RMC Sport or whatever they're called. And they know, I don't believe it. Interested FC stuff, I believe. What's you going to keep an eye? You're going to have targets. You're going to have people, a list. People don't know this. There's always a list. And as far as I know, from what is being said and what you're going to look towards who you believe and who you don't believe, I just believe they're in more for Kudus than Olise. Maybe Olise's agent pushing out for a move. Just saw Zaha.
I think with Olise as well, the reason why I can see why it would turn City's head is because firstly, we love a release clause. Like City's board, they always have done. Like even before, I think at Barca, they always loved a release clause. It's the way they know it. It's very easy business, and it's you stay below the radar a bit. You don't get in this long drawn out. Jack Grealish, that was just done like that because you walk in, go there's McAllister with Liverpool. You walk in, go there's the money, thank you, and walk away. Right. So there's that they know. While they've still got this, and especially you've got to remember at the moment, we've got this long drawn out situation now with Gvardiol, right? Our board do not want another situation like that with a winger. So they can just they can send one of the apprentices or whatever and go and put down the 35 mil and get that deal done over there. And the other thing is that Mahrez last season he wasn't like a regular. Don't get me wrong, he still played a nice number of games, but it isn't Mahrez for me.
Yeah, he doesn't have to start.
He's a plan B.
And it's a bit like when Raheem Sterling played. Raheem Sterling start on a Tuesday and bench on Saturday. Yeah.
If Bernardo Silva stays, then it's we'll be pretty confident that in the big games and in the majority, whenever we don't need to rotate, it will be Kevin De Bruyne right 8 and Bernardo Silva kind of like right wing, dropping back and getting involved in the midfield. So it has to be a player that is going to come and understand you're part of a squad, but you're joining the treble winners. It can't be someone coming in like, I want to start every game. I'm 90 million players. So it does fit the profile, I think, for City. But I just got to wait and see, man, because I don't want to.
I've got a question. Olise used to be a 10, didn't he?
He could play there.
Kudus can also play 10 behind the striker, and he kind of reminds me.
And he can play out wide as well. Yeah.
So I've just clocked it. They play 4-2-3-1. Kudus in the 10, Olise on the right. Competition for Madueke, competition for who wants Gallagher.
But then Nkunku's going to play somewhere.
Yeah, but Nkunku will be the starting 10. Maybe Kudus can just be flip and flop. I don't know. They can mix and matches. I don't know. Maybe they might get both.
I think it's baffling.
35 million. You never know. Actually, it's true. That's what I thought. Do you reckon they go get both, or he just one? It's just the last.
I think they get one, and it'll be more Kudus. I did have one question. I know we've got to wrap up shortly. It's just for Mo and Hassam. Just quickly on Olise. He's injured until potentially October. Do you think that has a bearing on if a club goes for him or not?
October?
That's too late. The season starts in August.
Not for City.
Yeah.
So that's like 2 months for the season.
Not
2 months of the season. I think
games. That's third of the season.
Yeah, that's not. Remember, there's an international break after the first 3 games as well.
That's September the 8th. Yeah,
might be for Chelsea. You know, when Chelsea are trying to like kind of mold a new
he just doesn't
team
suit
together.
He just doesn't. He just
But,
doesn't.
but at the same time, at
How,
his
how
age,
many
35
technical
million,
guys
that's an
who can
investment.
score that Chelsea have? So many. They need a goal scorer. They need a robot. Chelsea need a robot who could score 15 goals. That's all they need. I promise you. Like Chelsea have all this technical ability, look nice on the eye type players, but they
Tony.
cannot score a goal to save their life. They need some bot who can't play football but can score. Like Charlie Austin would bang in this Chelsea team. They need that type of guy. Like just put
Sorry, did you just say Charlie Austin?
I promise you.
What?
Listen, I could
Nah.
want Danny Graham, but I wasn't trying to be shameless. But
God,
like
you
any
know.
of these guys, bro.
No.
You kill me. You kill me. Big up the
need a
terrace. I
goal
just
scorer.
see I see there was a chat in there about Kobe Mainu, and also super chat here from Laughing Monkey as well. It says bring Olise home. Cobham graduate, of course. Yeah, he was.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why I think as well the Chelsea thing. I can imagine it happening, but then I just think personally it suits City. I think he's tailor made as a Riyad Mahrez replacement. Goals, assist. Just in case people didn't know, he got 11 assists last year in a Crystal Palace team that basically had no striker. Now you think about that with Erling Haaland. Well, there you go. But on that note, we're going to wrap it up here. An hour and 5 minutes. I'm not going to lie, that was a great show. That time has flown by. Please go over to This Is Football straight after this because I believe Mo and Hassam are live together. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. So join straight over to there. This is football. Hassam and Mo will carry on this football conversation.
Sorry, and you can just stay on the stream and it will take you straight over. So if people, you just stay where you are. It will go. And thanks for Sam for coming on as well.
Yeah, Sam, thank you for coming on. Guys, make sure you smash a like on this video before you go. Make sure you drop a comment in as well if you enjoyed the content or if you disagree or agree with any of the statements. And we'll be back tomorrow around 3 o'clock with some more transfer news. But other than that, guys, have a blessed Sunday.